Welcome back to the Wellbeing Podcast, where every episode, like we always say, is a step towards a healthier and happier you. So let's dive right in, shall we? As we wrap up 2024, I thought it'd be really interesting to kind of look back, do a deep dive into all the stuff that happened this past year.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times when we think about reflecting on the year, it feels like we're, just kind of like, ooh, remember that. But it's actually a lot more powerful than that.
Oh, for sure. Taking time to reflect can be a real boost for your well-being
Right.
and help you grow. There was this study back in 2003
Oh, wow.
in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology.
Right.
And they found that people who reflect regularly are actually better at handling challenges.
Oh, interesting.
And they have higher emotional well-being.
Wow, so it's really like a thing.
It is,
It's
yeah.
not just like fluffy feel-good stuff.
No, not at all.
It's backed by science.
This is legit.
I was reading about this organizational psychologist, Dr. Tasha Eurich, and she talks about self-reflection being like this essential skill,
Yes.
not just for personal growth, but also for advancing in your career.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's kind of like this deep dive is like a guided tour through your own 2024,
Yeah.
where we're going to use insights from experts
Right.
and research,
Yeah.
and we'll uncover some really interesting stuff.
Exactly, because the goal is not just to look back, but to learn and grow from those experiences
Right.
and set ourselves up for an even better 2025.
Okay, so ready to get started.
Let's do it.
Let's start with the good stuff. Think back to some of your proudest moments of this past year.
Yeah.
Maybe you landed a new job, started a new hobby,
Mm.
or maybe you just finally figured out how to make like the perfect sourdough bread, whatever it is, big or small.
Right.
Those moments, those are worth celebrating.
I love that. You know, we often focus on the big wins,
Huh.
but even the smallest victories.
Yes.
They can give you that sense of accomplishment
For-
and keep you motivated. I was reading this interesting motivational tip the other day, and it said, celebrating any progress, no matter how small, can actually boost your confidence.
I like that.
Right. And that confidence, that can help you tackle even bigger challenges and reach your goals.
Totally.
So, yeah, celebrate it all.
Speaking of tackling challenges, I came across this amazing quote
Ooh, I'd love a good quote.
from Steve Jobs. He said, and this is so powerful, "The only way to do great work is to love what you do." And when we celebrate those moments of accomplishment, it helps us reconnect with the passion and love we have for the things we do.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
So true.
But let's be real, 2024 wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, was it?
No, it wasn't.
We all had our share of,
Yeah.
difficult moments, times where we felt frustrated, disappointed, maybe even a little stuck.
Those are tough.
Yeah, for sure. And it could be really tempting to just want to shove those experiences under the rug
Oh, yeah.
and forget about them.
Totally.
But I actually think there's a lot to be learned from those times too.
I agree. What if, instead of looking at those challenges as failures,
Yeah.
we looked at them as opportunities for growth?
Ew.
You know, Harvard Business Review actually did this study on this.
Wow.
And they found that people who looked at their failures,
Oh,
not just their successes,
interesting.
were better at adjusting their strategies
Wow.
and, in the end, reaching their goals.
So basically they were able to learn
Exactly.
those experiences.
Yes. They learned from those experiences and used that knowledge to improve.
So it's almost like those setbacks
Mm.
are actually stepping stones,
They are.
not roadblocks.
Stepping stones, not roadblocks. I love that.
That reminds me of this incredible quote from Winston Churchill.
Churchill.
He said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts."
Powerful.
It's not about avoiding setbacks, but about how we respond to them. Do we let them defeat us, or do we use them as fuel to grow?
That's a great question.
That's the real question.
Yeah.
And I think reflection is key here.
It is.
By taking the time to really examine those challenging moments, we can figure out those valuable lessons and use them to make better decisions in the future.
Absolutely.
So far we've talked about celebrating wins, learning from challenges, but there's another piece to this puzzle. It's gratitude.
Ah, gratitude.
It's more than just saying thank you. It's about genuinely appreciating the good things in our lives, even when things are, kind of tough.
And you know what?
Yeah.
It's not just some fluffy feel-good concept.
Oh, no.
Dr. Robert Emmons, who is like the gratitude guru,
Right.
he's done a ton of research on this.
Okay.
And he's found that practicing gratitude can really significantly improve your mental health.
Wow.
It helps reduce stress. It helps foster a more positive outlook on life.
So, I mean, it's almost like a superpower.
It kind of is.
And it doesn't have to be complicated. Something as simple as taking a few minutes each day
Yeah.
to write down 3 things you're grateful for.
Oh, I love that.
That tiny little act can make a huge difference.
It can. And there's this quote.
Another quote.
I love it.
Okay, what is it?
It says, "Gratitude turns what we have into enough."
Mm.
And I love that.
Yeah, it's like when we shift our focus to what we're thankful for,
Mm-hmm.
it changes our whole perspective.
It does.
We start to see all the abundance in our lives, even when we're going through, those tougher times.
Even in the midst of chaos, there's always something to be grateful for.
Right. And so now, as we're getting ready to head into a brand new year,
Yeah.
let's talk about setting some intentions for 2025.
Ooh, I love this part.
Not just resolutions,
Yeah.
but really meaningful intentions that we can actually carry with us
Yes.
throughout the whole year.
Intention is everything.
So how do we do that?
Well, I think this is where all that reflecting we've been talking about really comes into play.
Okay.
There was a study in psychological science,
Mm-hmm.
and it showed that people who set really specific,
Okay.
actionable goals
Got it.
are much more likely to actually achieve them.
So it's not just about, like, I want to be happy.
Oh, no, it's got to be more specific.
It's got to be more like, what are the steps?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's think about those accomplishments we were talking about earlier.
Right.
What skills did you use
Mm-hmm.
to achieve those wins? What did you learn from those challenges,
Yeah.
the ones we talked about?
Yeah.
And how can you apply those lessons to set yourself up for success
So
in the coming year?
I think it's about asking yourself those tough questions, Like, what are 3 things that you're truly committed to achieving in 2025? What steps can you take to make those goals actually happen? What obstacles might you run into? And how can you prepare for them?
I love those questions.
It's about getting real with yourself.
It is, yeah.
Mm.
But also, don't be afraid to, to dream big. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams."
Oh, she's got a quote for everything, doesn't she?
She does. And speaking of dreams, let's talk about the power of a positive mindset.
Yeah.
Like, what does that even mean?
Well, this is where the work of Dr. Martin Seligman,
Okay.
who's like a pioneer in positive psychology,
Oh, wow.
becomes so relevant. He found that optimism,
Okay.
like truly being optimistic,
Yeah.
is actually connected to success and better health.
Oh, interesting.
It's not about ignoring challenges, but facing them with that belief that you can overcome them.
Right. So it's like that can-do attitude
Exactly.
that helps you even when things get hard.
Yeah, it's that resilience that helps us persevere through the tough times.
I like that. Optimism isn't just wishful thinking. It's like a tool, right?
It is.
For achieving your goals.
Yes.
And having a good life.
It's about focusing on what you can control, learning from your mistakes, and believing in your ability to create a better future for yourself.
So much good stuff here. I want to make sure we're all on the same page. Let's do a quick recap of everything we've talked about so far.
Yeah, let's do it. So first, we talked about celebrating our progress, big or small,
Yeah.
recognizing those wins, even those tiny ones,
Yeah.
boosts our confidence and keeps us going.
Right. And then we talked about reframing challenges
Yes.
as opportunities to learn and grow.
Which they are.
Exactly. And they're inevitable, those difficult times.
They are.
But they give us lessons that help us become better,
They do.
stronger, smarter.
Wiser.
Okay. And then what was the next one?
Oh, we talked about the power of gratitude.
Yes. Gratitude.
Focusing on what we're grateful for,
Yeah.
even when things are rough,
Right.
really enhances our well-being. It reduces stress.
And it helps us appreciate the good things.
It does.
And then what was the last one?
That was setting clear intentions
Oh, yeah.
for the new year.
For 2025.
Drawing on those lessons
Yeah.
we've learned from 2024 and using those insights
Yeah.
to really create goals and strategies for the next year.
To guide us, right.
Exactly.
And of course, the importance of a positive mindset.
Oh, so important.
Can't forget that one.
No, optimism is key.
It really is.
It helps us be resilient. It helps us persevere through those challenges.
Right.
And ultimately, I think it gives us a better chance of success
I agree.
and happiness.
Absolutely.
So there you have it, a little recap of our deep dive into 2024. I hope you found it helpful.
Yeah. So as we get ready to say goodbye to 2024 and kind of step into, all the unknowns of 2025, I want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question to ponder.
Okay, hit me.
What one word
Oh, I like this.
would you choose to really sum up your vision for 2025?
That's a good one.
What is that word that represents your hopes, your dreams,
Mm.
your aspirations for the year ahead? Let that word be your guiding light, your
Yes.
North Star as you navigate, all the adventures and opportunities that are waiting for you in 2025.
It's a powerful exercise, isn't it?
It is.
Boiling down your aspirations to one single word can really help clarify your vision for the future.
Yeah, it's so interesting how much like power there is in just one word.
It's amazing.
And as we think about, all those moments that made 2024 what it was,
Hmm.
it's good to remember that every year is a tapestry of experiences,
So,
woven with threads of joy and sorrow, triumph and challenge,
full spectrum.
full
The
spectrum,
human
a
experience.
full spectrum, exactly. And we'll continue to kind of dig into those themes
Yeah.
in our next episode.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks for joining us for part 1 of this special end-of-year deep dive.
Until next time. It's amazing to think about how all these different experiences, the highs and lows, really shape who we are. By embracing those experiences, I think we get a richer understanding of ourselves and where we fit in the world. The highs show us what we're capable of. The lows kind of reveal our resilience. And it's those in-between moments, they shape our perspective.
That's a great way to put it. The in-between moments shaping our perspective. It's easy to get caught up in, the extremes, but often it's those subtle, those everyday moments that really define who we are.
I agree, 100%. And I think as we move forward, it's so important to remember that reflection, it's not just a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process that helps us learn and grow and adapt as we navigate, all the complexities of life.
Yeah, I love that. So we've been talking a lot about personal reflection, but what about zooming out a little bit and looking at the bigger picture? What were some of the overarching themes and trends that define 2024 as a whole? Context is key.
Context is everything. The source material we were looking at highlighted the rise of artificial intelligence. It's impacting so many different industries, and it's definitely something that's going to continue to shape our world in some really profound ways.
AI is everywhere, that's for sure. And of course, there were those major global events that, dominated headlines and sparked some important conversations, whether political, economic, or social. Those events have really shaped our collective consciousness.
It's those shared experiences, those moments that capture our collective attention, that really bind us together as a society and shape the narrative of our times.
Right. And speaking of narratives, let's not forget about those personal and professional trends that were significant for each of us as individuals. Maybe you saw a shift in your career path, experienced a change in your relationships, or maybe discovered a brand new passion. Those individual trends really add to the richness and diversity of our human experience.
It's that tapestry of individual journeys intertwined with those shared experiences that creates the vibrant and complex fabric of our society.
Okay, so we've touched on the highs and lows, the triumphs and challenges, and the broader themes that kind of shape 2024. But I think the real magic of reflection is figuring out what it all means, like extracting the meaning from these experiences. I want to ask you some thought-provoking questions. Are you ready for this?
Get me.
Okay, so here we go. What did you learn about yourself this year? How have you grown as a person? What new skills or perspectives have you gained? And what, if anything, would you do differently next time?
Those are great questions. And as you ponder those questions, remember that there are no right or wrong answers. The beauty of reflection is that it's a very personal journey, It's unique to each individual.
Absolutely. And it's a continuous journey, too. As we wave goodbye to 2024, we carry those lessons we've learned with us, and we use them to make better choices and shape our future.
It's about acknowledging our growth, celebrating our resilience, and really embracing the wisdom we've gained along the way. And as we step into a new year, it's important to remember that reflection isn't just about looking back, it's about looking forward with a clear intention.
I love that. So by understanding our past experiences, we can set, better goals, make more informed decisions, and ultimately, I think, live more fulfilling lives.
Exactly. And that brings us to a really crucial point.
Yeah.
How can we translate those reflections into concrete actions?
Okay, let's dive into that. The source material that we were looking at offered some really great ideas on how to incorporate things like quotes and research and motivational messages into our reflections.
Yeah.
What do you think about quotes?
I love quotes. Quotes are so powerful because they condense complex ideas into these really concise and memorable phrases. They give us wisdom and inspiration from people who've been there before.
There's something so powerful about a well-chosen quote that just captures, a certain feeling or experience. For example, in the context of like career reflections, Steve Jobs has that famous quote, "The only way to do great work is to love what you do." It just reminds us that passion is the fuel that drives, meaningful work.
Absolutely. And when thinking about personal growth and relationships, I love this quote from Helen Keller. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. It's a reminder to prioritize those intangible qualities like love, compassion, connection, the things that really enrich our lives.
Those are beautiful choices. And, if you've been involved in any research projects or academic endeavors this year, sharing some of those key findings can add a really tangible element to your reflections. It's a way to showcase your accomplishments and highlight the impact of your work.
It's about connecting the dots between your intellectual pursuits and your personal growth. You could say something like, my research on topic revealed key findings, highlighting the need for further action. It shows not only your intellectual contributions, but also your commitment to making a difference.
I love that.
Yeah.
And finally, let's talk about the importance of wrapping up our reflections with a message of hope and motivation for the future.
Yes, reflection isn't just about looking back, it's about using those insights to create a better future.
Right. And what better way to inspire ourselves than with a powerful motivational quote? The source material that we looked at had this amazing quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams."
I love that quote. It reminds us to embrace our aspirations, no matter how big or small, and believe in our ability to make them happen.
It's about harnessing optimism, envisioning the future that we want, and taking those concrete steps to bring that vision to life.
And the path forward, it's not always going to be linear. It's not always predictable. There are going to be, detours and roadblocks and maybe some unexpected challenges, but that's okay, right? What matters is that we learn from those experiences. We adjust course if we need to, and we never give up on our dreams.
It's that resilience, that unwavering belief in ourselves that leads to a fulfilling life.
It really is.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up our look back at 2024, let's carry these lessons and insights into the new year.
Absolutely.
Right.
Let's make 2025 a year of growth, learning, and of course, more reflection.
Because remember that journey of self-discovery and personal growth, it's a lifelong adventure. Every year, it's like a new chapter waiting to be written.
Speaking of new chapters, I wanted to touch on something we mentioned earlier, setting intentions for the year ahead. It's more than just resolutions. It's about making sure your actions line up with your values and aspirations.
Exactly. The source material we've been working with suggested a really powerful framework for setting intentions. It starts with figuring out what your core values are, those guiding principles that are the most important to you.
So what are the things that really, truly matter to you? Is it creativity, connection, adventure, something else entirely? Once you've nailed down those core values, the next step is figuring out how to integrate them into your daily life.
This could mean setting specific, measurable goals that align with those values. For example, if connection is a core value for you, a goal could be scheduling regular time with loved ones or joining a community group where you share common interests.
It's about putting those values into action. And remember, setting intentions is an ongoing thing. It's not about being perfect. It's about making choices that reflect what's important to you and move you in the right direction.
And even when you stumble or veer off course, which happens to all of us, you can always go back to those core values. They're like your compass guiding you back on track.
Love that analogy. As we say goodbye to 2024 and welcome a fresh start, take some time to reflect on your own values and aspirations. What are you passionate about? What brings you joy? And how can you bring those things more into your life in 2025?
What a great question to ponder as we head into the new year.
Thanks for joining us for this special end-of-year reflection. We hope it's given you some food for thought as we move into 2025.
Thanks for listening to the Wellbeing Podcast. Take care, stay inspired, and see you next time. Make it inspiration.